In a garage in Lagos, Nigeria right now, a self-taught mechanic with no formal training, no computer diagnostics, no factory manuals, and no access to a single genuine Mercedes Benz replacement part, is rebuilding a German luxury engine under a corrugated tin roof with tools that most American mechanics would refuse to touch. And when he is done, that engine will run. It will not just start, it will run properly. And it will cost the owner a fraction of what a Mercedes dealership in Houston or Atlanta would charge for the same repair. Meanwhile, in the United States, a certified Mercedes Benz technician with a 4-year degree, factory training, $1 million worth of diagnostic equipment, and access to every genuine part in the global supply chain is quoting the same customer $4,000 for a job that the Lagos mechanic completed for $300. Same car, same problem, different continent, wildly different outcome. And this is not a one-off story about one gifted guy in a garage. This is an entire economy. Lagos alone has thousands of roadside mechanics who specialize in European luxury vehicles. BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Range Rover. Cars that were engineered in some of the most advanced facilities on earth are being kept alive by people who learn their craft, not from a factory certification program, but from watching YouTube videos, studying broken parts, and figuring it out through sheer repetition and necessity. Today, I'm going to show you how that is possible, why it works, and what it says about the way modern cars are designed to keep you dependent on the dealership. If you care about what is really going on under your hood, subscribe and let us get into it. To understand what is happening in Lagos, you have to see what the city looks like for car owners. Nigeria imports nearly all of its vehicles. The vast majority are used cars shipped from the United States, Europe, and Japan. A 5-year-old Mercedes E-Class that an American owner traded in because they wanted the new model ends up on a cargo ship, crosses the Atlantic, clears customs in Lagos, and starts its second life on some of the most punishing roads on the planet. Potholes that would swallow a shopping cart. Traffic jams that keep engines idling for hours in 95-degree heat. Flooding that submerges exhaust systems. Fuel quality that ranges from acceptable to genuinely damaging. These cars were engineered for the Autobahn. They are living on the streets of Accra. And when they break, and they break often in these conditions, there is no Mercedes dealership around the corner. There are authorized service centers in Lagos, but they charge prices that are completely out of reach for the vast majority of Nigerian car owners. The average monthly salary for a state employee in Nigeria is roughly $100 to $200 US. A single diagnostic scan at an authorized dealer can cost more than that. A genuine Mercedes part imported through official channels can cost 3 to 5 times what the same part costs in the US after import duties and markups are applied. So Nigerians do what Cubans did. They adapt. Across Lagos, in neighborhoods like Mushin, Surulere, and Oshodi, entire streets are lined with roadside mechanic workshops. These are not garages the way Americans think of garages. There are no hydraulic lifts, no alignment racks, no air-conditioned waiting rooms with complimentary coffee. These are open air spaces under trees and tin roofs, with hand tools laid out on concrete blocks and engines hanging from improvised chain hoists bolted to whatever overhead structure is available. The floor is packed dirt. The lighting is whatever the sun provides, or a single bulb wired to a generator after dark. And the work being done in these spaces would stun most Western mechanics. In one widely reported case, a Lagos mechanic named Taiwo Abiri taught himself how to repair cars entirely by watching YouTube videos. No apprenticeship, no trade school, no mentor. He watched repair tutorials online, studied the logic of how systems worked, and started practicing on vehicles that customers brought to him again. Today he runs a successful workshop in Lagos and handles everything from routine maintenance to complex electrical diagnostics. The BBC featured his story as an example of African entrepreneurial ingenuity. He is far from unique. Across West Africa, an entire generation of mechanics has learned their craft from the internet, from observation, and from the simple necessity of having no other option. Now take a second and hit that like button if you're finding this fascinating. One click helps get this story in front of more people, and trust me, more people need to hear this. All right, let's keep going. What makes the Lagos mechanic phenomenon so remarkable isn't just that they fix cars, it's how they fix them. Without access to genuine parts, Nigerian mechanics have developed a parallel parts economy that would be completely unrecognizable to an American service advisor. When a Mercedes intake manifold cracks, the Lagos mechanic doesn't order a genuine replacement from Stuttgart for $800. He sources a used part from a breaker yard that specializes in European vehicles. These yards, scattered across Lagos and other Nigerian cities, strip imported salvage vehicles down to individual components and sell them piece by piece. A used alternator, a water pump, a turbo actuator, whatever the mechanic needs is usually available somewhere in the network, and if it's not, he fabricates a solution. Fabrication is where the real genius lives. Nigerian mechanics routinely weld, machine, and modify parts to fit applications they were never designed for. A steering component from a Toyota adapted to work in a Mercedes Benz. An engine mount from one model year modified to fit another. Electrical harnesses spliced and rerouted to bypass failed modules that would cost thousands to replace through official channels. The cars that emerge from these workshops are, in many cases, mechanical hybrids, just like the Cuban cars that mix American bodies with Russian and Japanese engines. The body says Mercedes Benz. The internals say whatever works. And here's the part that should make every American car owner uncomfortable. These improvised repairs often last, not because the parts are superior, they are not, but because the mechanics who install them understand the systems at a fundamental level. When you do not have a diagnostic computer that reads a fault code and tells you which module to replace, you have to actually understand what the system is doing and why it failed. You have to trace circuits by hand. You have to feel the resistance in a bearing. You have to listen to the engine and hear what is wrong before you can see it. That deep mechanical intuition, built through thousands of repetitions on hundreds of different vehicles, produces a kind of diagnostic skill that no factory certification program teaches. An authorized dealer diagnoses by plugging in a computer and reading codes. A Lagos mechanic diagnoses by listening, touching, and thinking. Both approaches work, but one of them still functions when the computer breaks and the other one does not. This is not to say that roadside mechanics in Lagos are perfect. They are not. There are horror stories. Mechanics who misdiagnose problems to inflate bills. Mechanics who remove perfectly good parts and claim they were faulty. Mechanics who use substandard fluids or skip critical steps. The lack of formal training and regulation means quality varies wildly from one workshop to the next. Nigerian car owners know this, which is why word of mouth is everything. A good mechanic in Lagos builds his reputation one car at a time, and a bad one loses customers just as fast. The free market regulates quality with brutal efficiency when there is no government certification to hide behind. But the best of them, the ones who have survived and built reputations over years and decades, are genuinely extraordinary. There are mechanics in Lagos who can rebuild a Mercedes S6 in 2 days with hand tools that most American technicians would consider museum pieces. They do it without a torque wrench calibrated to factory spec. They do it without a clean room. They do it without a service manual. And the engine runs. Now here's the bigger question that this story forces you to ask. Why does a Mercedes engine need a $40,000 diagnostic bay and factory-trained technicians to be serviced properly in America, but a guy under a tin roof in Lagos can do it with a YouTube education and a set of wrenches? The answer is not that the Lagos mechanic is doing it better. The answer is that modern cars are designed to be serviced by dealers, not by people. The increasing reliance on proprietary diagnostic software, encrypted control modules, and dealer-only parts access is not just about quality control. It is about revenue control. Every system that requires a dealer-specific tool to diagnose is a system that generates dealer revenue. Every part that can only be sourced through official channels is a part that carries a dealer markup. Every software update that locks out independent mechanics is a software update that drives customers back to the dealership. The Lagos mechanic bypasses all of this because he has no choice. And in doing so, he proves something uncomfortable. A lot of the complexity in modern car service exists not because the car needs it, but because the business model needs it. There's a mechanic in Havana who keeps a 1955 Chevrolet running with plumbing parts. There's a mechanic in Lagos who keeps a 2018 Mercedes running with salvage parts and a YouTube education. Neither of them has access to the resources that a single American dealership takes for granted. And yet, both of them are producing results that, in many cases, match or exceed the longevity of factory authorized repairs done in air-conditioned bays with million-dollar equipment. That does not mean you should take your car to a roadside mechanic, but it should make you think about what you are actually paying for when you hand your keys to a dealer. Are you paying for expertise, or are you paying for access to a system that was designed to make you dependent? The Nigerian mechanic does not have the system. He has the expertise, and the car runs anyway. If this video opened your eyes, hit the like button so the algorithm pushes it to more people who need to hear it. Drop a comment and tell me what you think. Would you trust a roadside mechanic with no factory training to rebuild your engine if the results spoke for themselves? I want to hear your answer. If you have not subscribed yet, now is the time. We have a lot more stories like this coming, and each one is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about cars. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.